Hello my loves and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nina and in today's video we're going to learn some makeup breakthroughs from some of the most relevant beauty brands of the 1960s. The other day I came across a Vanity Fair article from July 1967 which highlighted the biggest breakthroughs from the top beauty houses at the time, and not only was it incredibly interesting, but it also sent me down a bit of a rabbit hole looking into what each brand actually introduced and whether any of it still holds up, and surprisingly most of it does. So I found everything super interesting to share, and let's just get right into the video. Helena Rubinstein started a tiny salon in Australia where she made skincare creams to a formula given to her by a Polish dermatologist, and lived to see her great cosmetic empire span the world. The House of Rubinstein was mainly a skincare house that created beauty product formulas using herbs, honey, silk, grapes, and antibacterials, among other biogenic ingredients. Her biggest discovery? Silk. During the First World War, she observed that pure silk dressings were used on war wounds to promote quicker healing. Intrigued, she started a worldwide investigation in her cosmetic laboratories. Her researchers confirmed that silk contains all the goodness of a protein in a form readily absorbed by the skin. This makes a lot of sense because silk contains natural proteins that help skin retain moisture, so unlike something like talc, which was the most common powder ingredient at the time and which can be quite drying, silk keeps the skin hydrated. It also has this unique light reflecting quality, so it softens the appearance of pores and fine lines. And on top of that, it's incredibly gentle, so it's ideal for sensitive skin. Nowadays, it's not very common. The big beauty house brands have developed other types of polyamides, which are, of course, a lot easier to make and a lot cheaper. And yes, you guessed it, most Korean luxurious makeup brands do use silk in their formulas, so you be the judge. Now, for any of you who don't know, most silk is made through methods that involve animal cruelty, so always read the ingredient list to know what you're getting into. One piece of advice she gave: there are no ugly women, only lazy ones. And yes, I agree, your skin or your body will benefit from the effort, whatever that looks like for you. And she also said another thing, which is, whatever you use, you must use it regularly. Indeed, it is a waste of money to buy a cream and just let it sit. I would rather you didn't buy it in the first place. Nothing to add here. I think it's great advice. Anything you buy, try to give it a good use. Be conscious of what you're getting. There's plenty of information out there. And whatever you put on your face, also use it on your hands. Quant is, of course, a spellbinder. The girl who practically invented swinging London all by herself and keeps it that way. When she turned her attention to cosmetics last year, she brought the same totally unprejudiced outlook to the question of makeup as she had to fashion, and revolutionized that too. She decided to study makeup through what models at the time were doing to enhance their features, and what she noticed, among other things, was that they had dozens of makeup pencils, so a few for the eyes, one for the brows, a few other for the lips, and so on. They had dozens of eyeshadow colors they had to mix and match to form new colors, and they carried very heavy bags with tons of products. So she decided to solve all those problems by introducing the makeup palette. A beautiful bright yellow metal packaging, which was a lot lighter than a normal compact, filled with a set of colored crayons, so something that basically signals be playful while using your makeup, and suitable for using anywhere on your face, so on your lips, on your cheeks, on your eyes, wherever you want it. Something that made makeup a lot easier.
Another vintage makeup find. This is a vintage Mary Quant colored pencil kit. This is between 50 and 60 years old. Oh, that one is still creamy, probably because she used it the most, and I don't blame her. That is a beautiful nude.
Before Mary Quant, a compact powder was typically something you would keep at home, a beautiful decoration item for your vanity, and most of them were actually gold-plated, so they didn't belong on the streets. You weren't supposed to take them out. You would only bring lipstick with you, and you were not to be seen putting it in public. With her introduction of portable packaging and her really cool designs, she made makeup become an accessory women weren't ashamed to use in public. The introduction of bright colors was absolutely genius, like everything she did back in the 60s, but she didn't do this alone. She partnered with Gala. When brilliant American Stanley Picker created Gala over here in 1938, he saw cosmetics in terms of color, and in doing so revolutionized the makeup scene. In the 30s and 40s, lipsticks and nail enamels were three basic colors: blue, red, orange, and a rather hard pink. A little before Mary Quant, the beauty house Gala had revolutionized color by introducing muted tones like apricots, subtle browns, pearly pinks, and other unusual colors with a shimmery finish. This became the perfect way of making teenagers use makeup in a different way than their mothers, but reaching that audience also meant making makeup more accessible and affordable, something they could buy with less than 1 week's salary payment. That's why they partnered with Mary Quant. Gala brought the chemical technology developments, and Mary Quant brought the innovation and designs, leading to a very successful partnership that led to a huge increase in sales within just the first year. For them, the clearest way for makeup to be innovative was to echo fashion, so they benefited a lot from any new trends, like for example the space age, where they revolutionized the makeup by introducing some metallized or shimmery shades like some silvers, blues, and also colors like chalk whites that defined the futuristic look of the time. Dior. The very name is a guarantee of elegance. Evocative of Mediterranean yachts, Manhattan in the snow, Paris in spring, weekend flights to South America, panthers in the park, yawards in the garage. Diamonds, emeralds, sables flung casually aside. Dior fragrances, Dior lip colors and nail enamels, Dior hand care preparations are all relative newcomers to the field of cosmetics. But as new as they were definitely not behind. They knew that after a world war, their differentiator was in combining luxury and practicality, introducing Rouge Dior. In 1953, they launched a rechargeable lipstick with stunning packaging inspired by the obelisk in the Place de la Concorde in Paris. These are the types of things that make me wonder, why are we going backwards? Like, yes, let's buy a rechargeable lipstick with a beautiful packaging that we can keep as decoration, but with a refill that is as beautiful as to take with you during the day. Like, why are we using plastic again? But that wasn't their only introduction. They also innovated by creating many different shades of color to suit different skin types and fabrics. Dior, being such a fundamental fashion house as well, launched haute couture gowns with their suggested shade of lipstick, one shade you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else. More importantly, after seeing the perfect color combination required some knowledge and understanding for women, they created the universal red, Dior 9, now known as Dior 999, designed to be flattering for all skin tones. Later, towards the end of the 80s, they would pioneer the rise of modern scientific anti-aging with their liposome technology, followed by the adoption of Retin A. It seems like they left nothing undone, so only good things to say about Dior. François Coty made Coty famous as a fragrance house supervising the creation of each perfume from the first basic formula down to the final presentation. When he decided to branch out into cosmetics in the 20s, These two bore the stamp of his personality. The famous Lalique designed airspun powder box was as sensational as the delicately scented face powder it contained. Before Coty, makeup wasn't consistent. Different batches had different finishes. That means that makeup powder could result in a slightly different color, a slightly different texture, and later in life when you started to get wrinkles, you would notice makeup would highlight your wrinkles instead of disguising them. So how did he fix that problem? He introduced the micropulverizer machine. So they would put all the powdery ingredients inside the machine, they would let them spin super fast, and inside all the particles would bump into each other, resulting in perfect equal particles by the end of the process. The Airspun from 1935 was marketed as a product that left your skin with a cloudy effect. Coty was also the first house to buy hundreds of acres of flower fields, next to which they built big factories, attempting for the makeup creation to be as mechanical as possible to ensure every batch would have the same finish. Innovations that still hold up today. In 1885, Monsieur Jean Lenthéric opened his first salon and laboratory in Paris, where he created exclusive perfumes for the most aristocratic families in France. He became master perfumer to almost every court in Europe, and in the early 1900s he turned his attention to makeup. As you can imagine, with his background as a master perfumer, Lenthéric approached makeup the same way as fragrance. What you wear depends on the moment. Day or night, for work or for an event, each required something different. What Lenthéric did was that they sold simple products like lotion, talc, or their famous perfumes, but as they knew they were super simple, their differentiator was the fragrance. So they were just, selling talc, but they were selling it with a really nice smell. And they also knew the best way to market those products was to put them in a set. So you would buy a beautiful box with a tiny perfume, a tiny bit of talc, a tiny bit of lotion, and they became super famous because of that. They marketed their products as the perfect option for active professionals, for wearing while doing sports, and also for long walks in the fields. But considering such a wide audience meant that their products needed to be massive, accessible, and cheaper to make, which ended up in the introduction of plastic packaging, which was a lot cheaper, a lot lighter, and a lot more flexible. Their sophisticated formula stayed the same, but the packaging became incredibly practical. What's especially great about Cyclax is that they remained loyal to their formulas and their objective was skin health. Cyclax is traditionally a skincare house and its research teams are constantly making quiet breakthroughs. They introduced non-astringent toners, makeup base for older skins, the first instant absorption night cream for your face and neck, and with these breakthroughs they also introduced the precursor to the BB cream, the Milk of Roses, which provided a light, soothing, moisturizing barrier that unified your skin color, serving as a very light makeup base. It was basically the no makeup option, which was perfect if you needed to follow royal etiquette. In 1961, Cyclax received the royal warrant and became the designated brand to prepare Queen Elizabeth II for any event she attended. It was budget-friendly and they have stayed very consistent with their formulas for over 100 years, so if that doesn't make you confident in them, I don't know what will. The House of Orlane, founded in 1946 by Count Guillaume d'Orlane, has in the short space of 20 years become a world leader. Starting in the well-worked field of skincare rather late, Count d'Orlane threw overboard preconceived notions and formulas and set out to create products which were direct beneficiaries of new cosmetic and biological research. These are some of the products he developed. Creme Boreal, his first conditioning cream, contained horse serum, hormones, and vitamins to facilitate the renewal of skin cells. Creme Integral was a revolutionary treatment cream containing chicken embryo extracts. Royal Jelly, the substance which in nature turns an ordinary bee into a queen, giving her unique longevity, was found to have a remarkably rejuvenating effect on the skin, and Dornane incorporated it into a number of treatment creams and cosmetics. He definitely had a more experimental approach. This brand was actually one of the first to introduce the idea of serums meant to be used before makeup to make it look a lot better on your skin. In 1968, Orlane made headlines by releasing the most expensive cream in the world, introducing the concept of bioenergy. This cream wasn't just supposed to hydrate your skin. It also contained a complex of 21 amino acids designed to re-educate your skin cells to behave like younger ones. They were leading this super expensive research and experiments that were turning out to be successful. But the ingredients and the processes that they were using were not exactly something you could sell to the masses. So they just decided to market it for like the really rich and privileged. That cream you can actually find nowadays. It is still super expensive, so it's not the most expensive of them all to this day. They were also pioneers in incorporating sun filters and pollution protection before it was a health standard, which we love. And they were also the first to introduce computers to gather information on individual skin types and troubles to figure out what was the exact treatment every individual skin could need. To think how advanced this was for the time, these people were not fooling around, that's for sure. The firm was founded when little Miss Yardley, the daughter of a sword and buckle manufacturer, married into soap. A few years later, her husband was bankrupt, and her father took over the firm as part payment of his debt. He and his descendants built into England's foremost soap and perfumery house. I couldn't really find a lot of information on this marrying into soap story, but what is no mystery for Yardley is how important they became in the beauty industry. Not only did they receive royal warrant as well, but they introduced some concepts that are undoubtedly modern. First and foremost, they introduced the grandma of lip gloss, the Slickers.
Under, over, alone. Get Slicker Lip Polish by Yardley of London.
This was perfect for the era because the shades were nude or almost transparent, but the innovation was on how shiny they made your lips look. But most importantly, they introduced something that seems essential nowadays: influencers. We want teenagers and young girls to use our products. How do we do that? We bring the coolest it girls to model our products. Twiggy and Jen Shrimpton were frequent models for Yardley, and mixing beautiful faces with really good marketing and some cool energy made Yardley a super popular option that expanded across multiple countries. Yardley believes that cosmetics must be easy, undemanding, and fun. Today's girl is time pressured, stands no nonsense, can't be bothered to fiddle and faddle about time-consuming, boring, routine steps to beauty in 65 different subtle ways. She wants it here and she wants it now. And isn't that the case to this day? Definitely a beautiful house that was ahead of its time. These were some of the beauty ideas that stayed and that honestly still seem like makeup breakthroughs to this day. Let me know in the comments if there is any brand or product your grandma, your mom, or even you swear by. I know we could all benefit from really good and wise advice when it comes to makeup. That was everything for today. Thank you so much for watching and for being here, and see you on the next one. Bye!
But they sure got some cuties incorrect.